Okay, let me check one thing and then. Okay, we are live streaming and we do have.
Okay. Call the meeting to order?
Yes, you can call the meeting to order.
Has the meeting started yet? Hello? Hello?
Tommy?
Tommy, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Mark?
It is. It shows that he's on. Can you hear us?
This is Mark. I'm here.
Okay, good. We're good.
Madam Board President, there is a board and proceed with the meeting.
What is this echo? So I have to
Uh,
Somebody's watching the YouTube. That's what the echo's from.
It's just because we're all in the same room, so it's picking up. You and I are in the same room, but it's fine. So we can go ahead for the next item.
shutting off my phone.
Okay, we're doing the roll call.
Yes, we did the roll call. We have a quorum.
Okay.
We do have a quorum, so we'll go on 1.3, adoption of the agenda.
Loud. Someone on stage.
Uh,
Adoption of the agenda.
yes, Madam President, members of the board, the next item is the adoption of the agenda.
Uh-huh.
We do have an executive session first on the agenda because we have our legal counsel lined up here in a few minutes to call in. Then the superintendent's report, acknowledgements and recognition. We do have a consent agenda, old business. We don't have any old business. Several new business items. The first 6 are handbook approvals. Then we have another executive session later that has to do with student discipline, and then any personnel items. So with that, I would ask the board to adopt the agenda as presented.
Board members, you have
Your agenda, so I would need a motion to accept the agenda as read.
Board Member McCabe would motion to accept the agenda as read.
Okay,
Board Member Little will second that motion.
okay, thank you. Motion and second is made. Any questions? If none, all those in favor say aye.
Mark Little, I vote yes.
Okay,
Board Member McCabe votes yes.
votes yes, yeah. Thank you. 3 in favor, 0 opposed.
moving on.
To the next executive session. I would need a motion second to go into executive session.
Madam Chair, this is Board Member Little, a motion to go into executive session.
Okay. I'll
I'll go ahead and second.
Second. There's a second to the motion by
Board member, Tommy? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Going into executive session.
For this one, board members, you'll need to, Tommy and Mark, because they'll need to call in. If they can call my cell phone like the last time, and then we have the conference phone set up to call the attorney in the executive boardroom. So we'll switch over to there just right now, and I'll put a little notice up that's that says that we're in executive session, so anybody that tunes in knows that we are currently in executive session, but we'll be right back. So.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We're now into executive session. Keep my laptop. Just leave it.
No, because we're gonna do this by phone, so it's fine if she just leaves that.
Something with it.
They're avoiding. I'm not saying anything. Let me mute my mouth.
can't hear you guys. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Hi, I can hear you.
Okay,
Okay, and
okay.
it says mute.
You're unmuted.
Oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Our attorney Nathan's gonna call in just 1 second.
We do have Board Member Allen and Board Member McCabe. We lost the connection to Board Member Little, so I just sent him a text to rejoin. But until he joins, we won't have a quorum with only 2, so
Yeah, it sounds like Mark was on the road driving, so I don't know if he'll be able to come back on.
yeah, he kind of cut out and we lost him. I don't know if we can. Oh. Hello, this is Chris.
Hey, Chris, Nathan Shaw.
Hello, we are back, but we are missing a board member. We only have 2 right now. We lost the call on the other one, so we're kind of waiting for him to rejoin us.
Okay.
Hopefully quickly, if he can sign back in.
Like that, you're muted.
So what do we do?
Well, we have to wait until hopefully Mark can rejoin us, or we won't have a quorum. We
Yeah,
can,
wish Ramona was here.
I don't know if,
How long do we have to wait for Mark to get back on before?
On the phone also?
Nathan, how, I don't know, this is the first time this has happened where we've had, basically we've lost the quorum, and in this kind of an online meeting, we're trying to get one of the other board members on, but how long do we wait?
I think it's like 10, 15 minutes. I think it's up to the remaining board members. Yeah, you can't take any sort of action without a quorum.
Yeah,
So we do
can't
have to
legal
wait.
action right now. Or any action. So the thing I would do is adjourn the meeting due to no quorum. Which I hate to do.
Well, let me,
You can give them a few minutes to try to contact them and get them back online, given that he was appearing remotely.
We'll see what happens by 6. But you can't just adjourn, right? I mean, not adjourn, what do you call it? Recess.
You can't take any sort of official board action without a quorum.
oh, somebody's calling in. Maybe this, let me, admit somebody's coming. Mark?
This is Mark.
Oh, yay, you're back. Okay, we have a quorum again. So
I'm on the road. I don't know if I might lose service again.
Okay, well, we'll try to get through this item quickly and maybe some of the other ones quickly. And then if we do lose quorum, we'll just have to table those items. We are back.
To the regular session?
Oh, we do have Mr. Schott on the speakerphone here, and then we have a quorum again. So members of the board, I would ask you recognize Nathan Schott, the attorney, to just talk you through your options and then whatever discussion and action that you want to take on this meeting. So Nathan, if you could.
Okay, thank you, and thanks again, board members. So before you is a motion, a recommendation from the administration to accept the administrative recommendation to terminate Mr. Herder's employment. Again, Mr. Herder is an emergency certified teacher. He is entitled to notice of the board's decision, whatever it may be. As discussed in executive session, there was a hearing officer that provided his findings of fact, conclusions, and recommendations. Those have been explained to you. The board has reviewed those in executive session. So right now, the board can either accept the administrative recommendation to terminate Mr. Herder's employment and to direct legal counsel to inform Mr. Herder of the governing board's decision. Alternatively, the board can entertain a motion to reject the administrative recommendation to terminate Mr. Herder's employment. And if the board elects to reject the administrative recommendation to terminate, it can also then entertain a motion to impose some sort of alternative discipline if the governing board feels that that would be appropriate. So again, the first motion that the board may want to consider is a motion to accept the administrative recommendation to terminate Mr. Herder's employment and to direct legal counsel to inform Mr. Herder of the governing board's decision. Alternatively, the second motion would be a motion to reject the administrative recommendation to terminate Mr. Herder's employment.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr.
Attorney, thank you for the
Mr. Schott.
So, board members, you know the evidence and the presentation from the attorney. Then we need to make a decision. A motion to accept the administrative recommendation to terminate emergency certified teacher Adrian Herder. How do you want to treat the item? It's a serious item.
Madam Chair, this is Board Member Little. I'd like to make a motion to give an opportunity for Mr. Herder to resign rather than termination. If he does not want to resign, then proceed with termination, but give him the opportunity first to resign. And then I want to proceed with discipline on the principal. I want to proceed with discipline on all the coaches and staff that were involved, and have that recommendation be brought back to the board with their recommendation for appropriate discipline. In addition to that, I want to ensure that it is clearly explained to every employee that we are mandated reporters regardless.
Yes. That part sounds good as far as
Discipline and all, mandating that follow the policy.
Board Member McCabe seconds that motion.
you know,
It's supposed to We're saying, we're going to give the person a resignation. It's just, I think termination would have been better. Or maybe.
So before you vote, I just want to clarify for everybody, so everybody heard. So the motion by Board Member Little was to give Mr. Herder the opportunity to resign. If he chooses not to resign, then it would be, we would proceed with the termination. And then there would be the disciplinary investigation into the conduct of the principal and the coaches that were involved. And that when the school year begins, that there will be training on mandatory reporting and on the field trip policies and the supervision of students. Is that correct, Mr. Little?
Correct. And then from this day moving forward, no more staff sleeping with students or sharing hotel rooms with students.
Right. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that for the record in case anybody didn't hear it. So if that's what Board Member Little intended and what Board Member McCabe seconded, then Board President, it would be appropriate for the vote.
Okay, well, that was for termination, but resign means erase what happened.
No, it still goes in.
It'll still be in the books. Okay, okay. We should go ahead and motion to vote. All those in favor say aye.
This is Board Member Little. I vote yes.
Board
Okay,
Member McCabe votes yes.
and
Mine now, I speak for termination. Therefore, I'll just go ahead and stay in the middle.
Abstain?
Abstain.
Okay.
okay. In
Members of the
favor,
board,
one
this is
abstain, motion carried.
members of the board. This is Mark again. I'm gonna probably lose service here. I'm going over look at Gray Mountain. I had to run into Farmington to grab some essentials. I was running low on grocery. When I get back into Lucajigay, I'll have service again. So I don't know how the board wants to proceed from here. It's gonna be about maybe 15 to 20 minutes before I get service again.
Yeah, it'll be more than in the week.
Maybe we'll just go ahead and,
Are we able to take a recess?
We can take a
If
recess.
we're able to recess for about 15 to 20 minutes, then that would be appreciated. Sorry, you guys.
You can, yeah, you could do them. Nathan, I think we're done with you unless you have anything you want to say.
Nope, I have done. I don't have anything else to say. Yeah, if you guys want to take a recess, that is appropriate. I don't know if you were asking me that. But I will, I guess, unless there's any additional questions from me, I will step off.
Okay, thank you so much for being on with us tonight and explaining everything. We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay, with that said, Superintendent Osgard, Madam
Yes.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to recess for about 15 to 20 minutes.
We,
okay, Toshi? I'm in favor, but that's the way it goes. We don't have a quorum. Okay, we'll wait.
wait. I mean, there's a motion, but is there a second and a vote? You have to vote to actually go into a recess. So,
Board Member McCabe seconds.
okay, now there's a motion and a second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed.
Okay, so I'm going to leave the meeting open and just put a little notice that says we are in recess for approximately 15 minutes, and then we can just rejoin the meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, you guys. Sorry.
All right.
Mute, unmute.
Do we stay on here? Chris. Chris. Hello.
I'm sorry. Yes, you just mute yourself and then you can stay on. I'm going to put a little notice up on the screen that just says we're recessed for about 15 minutes and then we'll rejoin.
Okay.
Oh, am I on?
This is Mark.
Okay, Mark, you're back. That's great. Bessie's still here. Tommy, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, we can resume our meeting. So I believe we need a motion and a vote to end the recess and rejoin the regular session.
Madam Chair, this is Board Member Little. I'd like to make a motion to exit from recess and enter back into our regular meeting.
Okay,
Board Member McCabe seconds the motion.
okay, there's a second to the motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 We're back in the session. Okay, we have,
Mr. Oscar, can you-
Madam President, members of the board, the next item, just in the interest of time and the fact that we might potentially lose quorum again, is the superintendent's report. You have that in front of you. Most of it is something that I had already emailed to the board members ahead of time. If you have any specific questions, I don't want to take too much time here other than to say yesterday and today, we have been focusing very much on planning for next year, the what ifs when school reopens, things like busing, food service, social distancing, sanitation, hand sanitizers, scheduling. We're working on all of those things right now. I was just in 2 webinars today about that, and I have another meeting that the state superintendent is going to be in on Friday. So we'll probably get some more insight there as to school reopening. Just a reminder, we're not doing a summer program this year. So as teachers check out and we check out the students, basically the campus will be closed for the summer. So I guess that's all I have in my superintendent's report, unless there's anything else that.
Okay.
any questions on superintendent's report?
Board Member McCabe don't have any question right now.
Okay.
Hello? Lost Mark again.
Is he still?
He's still here. Well, his number's still here.
Okay.
Okay, do we need a motion? Second?
No, there's no action on the superintendent's
Okay.
report.
Okay, we need announcement and the recognition.
Oh no, we lost Mark. He's not on the call anymore.
Yeah, from there on, it's a back Healy, all the way into 491.
He said he was coming back into Lucajigay, right?
No, he's on his way to Farmington.
Oh,
He said, once he goes over the mountain, he'll call it.
Which we did. But after that, there's signal and no signal all the way until you get close to Shiprock.
I'm gonna just mute everybody for right now. We can give him just a couple minutes to see if he can call back in, and if not, then we may just have to. adjourn.
Ramona, if we can get Ramona in here, that would be good.
I just tried to call her and it just rang. Didn't,
She calls.
So we can give it just a couple minutes and see if we can reconnect with Mark. If not, we may just have to.
Yeah, I'm muted now.
Mark, are you there again?
Sorry, you guys, I accidentally disconnected us.
Okay, so just.
I had a quick question. Do you think there's a need to maybe sanitize or disinfect the buildings?
Yes, I think there is a need, and yes, we are doing that. We already have people doing
Oh,
that
you-
in areas that are not being used, and then as soon as the teachers check out and there won't be anybody in the buildings, then the custodians are doing a very deep clean of all 3 schools.
Okay. Just to let you guys know that in Rough Rock, we hired a company out of Phoenix called InBee, and they're doing a deep, thorough cleaning of our buildings, all the buildings. They started yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and then we won't go back into the buildings until Monday. So, but if the custodians are doing it, that's fine. But these guys, they have like some spray that they spray throughout the whole entire building, and I just wanted to share that.
Okay, thank you. We do have sprays and disinfectants and everything. We can look into what they're using and see if we can use that ourselves, but we do have all the cleaning supplies and everything to do the deep clean.
Okay, all right then. But I believe in our custodians too. So if they're doing a good job, then that's good.
Okay. Moving
That's
on
all.
to the next
Thank
one.
you.
Number 4-1.
So, I'm trying to, let's see.
Acknowledgement of Pinon Accelerated Middle School student, parent, and teacher.
I'll read this into the record. It's submitted by Ms. Chi, Pinon Middle School Principal. The student of the month is Cairo Lewis, who is nominated by Rachel Denny, who's the assistant principal, for her proactive nature, supporting her friends in bullying situations, and her positive attitude. She always has a smile on her face. The parent of the month is Karen Yazzie. She was nominated by Christy James, who's the instructional coach. Karen Yazzie has been very proactive with homeschooling, even before the school closure. She always asks for resources and areas of instruction she can support at home with her students. So congratulations. And then the staff of the month were nominated by Pamela Mead, who I think most of you know. She works with Pinon Clinic and has several grants and other things that she does with us. And that's not one person, but it's the entire Pinon Middle School front office team for the work that they've been doing as the schools were closed, getting schedules together, getting learning packets out. The middle school staff did a wonderful job, so congratulations to our middle school office staff and our student and our parent of the month. This is, again, just a discussion item, so there's no action that needs to be taken. We can move down to the next item, which is the consent agenda.
Consent agenda, yeah, okay.
Chris, before we move on, just real quick, let me know if I'm out of order or not. It's on Facebook about Kinley School District. Maybe I should ask this question during your report. It's on Facebook about Kinley School District's promotion or graduation. I guess they're doing like a drive-through or something type of graduation. And I know, at the last board meeting, I said something about maybe we can do our graduation in August before school starts.
Yeah, that's what we're planning.
I don't know what the board thinks about maybe doing something like that and then an actual formal graduation in August. So just to put it out there.
Okay, well, we can look into it, but it's very short notice now because we only have about a week left.
Yeah, true. Okay, all right then, that's okay. I just thought I'd put that out there, but that's all right.
Drive-through?
It's different schools are doing it where instead of like the students would decorate their cars and be in the car, and then it's more like a parade where everybody kind of, and they, we can look at it to see what we could do, but.
Okay.
Even if we move the that drive-through graduation a week later or something. It's just something I thought I'd put out there, but if I'm out of order, let me know. That's fine. I respect that. But again, I think we should have at least a formal graduation or something in August when everything kind of cleans up and lifts up. So
Yeah, that is our plan, that we will have the regular graduation ceremony, either like end of July, early August, whenever it's safe to do something like that.
okay.
But we'll look at other options too. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Well, there's no discussion on the consent agenda, so it's just approving.
got it. Okay. The minutes of March 3, March 16, and March 15.
April 15th. And discussion to approve the voucher that we have between board meetings. Approval of consolidated board report, and then discussion and possible action to approve the sale and disposal of listed information technology items. You have also discussion and possible action to accept the resignation of the following people: Delvina Ashkey, Pam's math teacher, May 29, 2020. Lee Heel Julie, Pinon High School ESS teacher, effective also the end of the year 5/29. Jennifer Slownap, Pinon High School science teacher, also effective May 29, 2020. And then you have possible action to accept the retirement of the following employees: Brett Burkhart, Pinon High School English teacher, effective May 29. Linda King. Okay. Also, that's until June 5th. Orlando Jim, Pinon Elementary first grade teacher, 5/29/2020. So that would be the consent agenda. Need a motion second to
Board Member McKay would like to motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
okay.
Board Member Little will second that motion.
Okay. Thank you. All those in favor say
Aye.
aye. Aye. Okay. 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Consent agenda is approved.
Going into new business.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, items 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4, 7.5, and 7.6 are the handbooks for next year, the elementary, middle, and high school student handbooks, the athletic handbook, the course description handbook for the high school, and the parent engagement handbook. It's a lot of reading and a lot to go through.
Yeah.
So legally, the board doesn't need to approve handbooks. It's like a regulation or an exhibit. It doesn't require it, but we have a history of doing that here in the district. My intent was to have like a board work session, a retreat to go through all this because there's so much. Just because I know one board member is driving and I don't want to lose quorum again because we have some very important things later on. My suggestion would be, if you're not comfortable with the handbooks, to just table those 6 items and we can bring them back later to give you more of an opportunity to read them and review them. If you're okay with them, you could approve them. Based on the timing, I don't really want to do it now because there are items later that we really need to address.
Madam Chair, this is Board Member Little. With that recommendation, I'd like to recommend that maybe we do another teleconference type of work session, and Superintendent Osgard can go over the important changes, if any, of the handbooks, and then have it presented at the next board meeting. So therefore, I'd like to make a motion to table these items as recommended by the superintendent.
Board Member McCabe seconds that motion for items 7-1, 7-2, 7-3, 7-4, 7-5, and 7-6.
Okay. Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Board Member Little, yes.
Board Member McCabe, aye.
Okay. Galaxy, yes. So 3 in favor.
Zero opposed, motion is carried. Moving on to the next.
Next one. Go through.
Yeah, I can. Next is 7.7, discussion and possible action to approve the final FY 2020 budget revision. We had that public hearing earlier. Basically, Mr. Allen's still here. If you have questions, we can patch him in. He is on the Zoom call. Basically, we were able to increase the budget, which is nice. Usually when we come to you, we have to decrease the budget, but this is one of those, because of increased enrollment this year, we were actually able to add some funds to the budget. And then we also added in $700,000, which is part of a CARES Act, the federal funding. They recommend budgeting, what was it, 70% of Title I? And our Title I was approximately $1 million. So just to be safe, we just did the 700,000 for now. And then if we find that our allocation is higher, we can always adjust, but that also increases our budget. So board members, if you have any questions for Mr. Allen, he is here and he can unmute himself and we can ask questions to him, or you can just approve the budget revision. There are no substantial changes to the budget itself, other than we are adding in the 700,000 and then just some other M&O funds that we received because of our enrollment.
Board Member McCabe asked a question during the hearing. He got that answered. So the only question I would have is, once the encumbrance have been updated, are we going to be coming back to do another revision?
No, there'll be no more revision. The next budget thing for this school year will be the annual financial report in September.
Okay. Is there a way we can request for an update once all the encumbrance have been finalized?
Yes.
Okay. With that, Board Member McCabe would like to motion to approve the item.
Second.
No, we're here. We still have 3.
Mark, are you still there?
I'm here.
Oh, good. Sheila.
I'm listening.
Yeah, got Kelly with cars and stuff. Okay. The motion is made. Need second.
I second that motion.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
3 in favor,
Aye.
no opposed. Motion is carried.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item, 7.8, discussion and possible action to approve the placement salary schedules for the 11-month certified non-administrative positions, the classified administrative positions, and the certified administrative positions. So there are several that were attached here in your board packet if you had a chance to look at those. What we did is we, Joyce, I shouldn't say we, it was more Joyce and Jackie who got all of the surrounding, just like we did with the teachers in the classified, we got all the surrounding school districts, our neighbors, other districts in the state, compared our current salary schedule for administrative positions to those. adjusted ours. And the reason there's so many of them is, which was my request, because in the past, all the administrative positions were on one salary schedule, whether they were 11 months, 12 months, certified, classified, and it just made it very difficult sometimes to place people correctly. And it also made no accounting for educational experience. It was just, this is the grade and this is what year. So we split all of those out. So at the last board meeting, if you remember, we renewed, with the exception of two, we renewed administrative staff for next year, but we did not set their salary. We were waiting on these to set the salary. So Mrs. Surik and I are asking the board to approve the salary schedule, so then we can go in and set the salaries for our new hires and for our existing administrative staff.
Okay. Have a motion second. Accept the recommendation on the placement schedule for 11 months. Certified and non-certified, non-administrative and administrative position. Hello, did I mute myself again?
No, you're on.
Board Member McCabe would like to go ahead and motion to approve the item as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Board Member McCabe says aye.
I have some questions.
Okay.
We had, when we approved this, I believe last year with the 50 or 25 cent increase for everyone, I believe the question was, okay, well, what about the new incoming staff? It wasn't fair for those employees that were there for some time. We're going to run into the same problem again with the administrators.
No, because we are going through, if you remember what the board approved for certified, and so if the board approves the salary schedules as presented, then Joyce and Jackie have already been going through every single administrator's file, looking at all of their educational experience, all of their years of service, and they're being placed correctly. So all of our existing staff would be placed much higher than any new incoming staff. So I understand what you mean, but no, we learned from that and we have addressed that in this new salary table.
Okay, I have no other question.
That was my concern. I spoke with a while ago on it when we were on recess. I thought there were some administrators.
Bessie needs to unmute herself.
Oh, Bessie, you're muted.
Sorry, I forgot. Oh, it's already unmuted.
No, you are. Here, I unmuted you, so you're good. You can.
Yeah. So sometime I think we need to go back and look at this one. Meanwhile, I need a motion in a second. Oh, we already did that. So we're gonna go ahead and vote to accept. I need.
There's a motion in this.
Favor, say aye.
Is she calling for a vote?
Yes.
This is Board Member Little. I vote yes. If there's no other questions, I vote yes.
Board Member McCabe votes yes. On my screen, Bessie's still muted. That's why we can't hear her.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, you are muted on my screen. For some reason, I can't unmute you. I don't know.
It says muted, but okay, I guess it goes back and forth.
Okay, you're on there. Okay.
All those in favor, we got 3 in favor, Zero opposed, motion is carried. Next item,
Next item, Madam President, members of the board, discussion possible action to approve the following coach. Leandra Begay, she did serve as the assistant softball coach for that part of the season very faithfully. So we're just asking the board to approve her in that position.
is that the only one?
Yeah, that's the only one. She was, for some reason, missed in the last agenda item, but she did serve in that position until the season ended. So we want to be sure that she gets paid out when the other coaches get paid out.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, did you all hear that?
Hello? Hello?
I think my,
No, you're on.
Board Member McCabe would go ahead and motion to approve the item.
I'll second.
oh, Mark is still up.
Yeah, we're all here.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Motion is carried, 3 in favor.
Thank you. Moving on, 710.
710, great news. Discussion and approval and acceptance of the School Facilities Board Building Renewal Grant for Pinon Unified. This is 001 building or BRG Critical Award amount 1,300,000. Oh, there's an
300.
400. Oh, you got too many.
there's
Maybe it's 13 million.
how much is it? 1,345,042 dollars. This is from the School Facilities Board, and it is to completely replace the middle school roof. So this has already been approved by the School Facilities Board, but our governing board has to accept the funds. So we will do a purchase order to the company. They will start working, strip off the old roof, put the new roof on as soon as this is approved. And then the School Facilities Board is going to give us $1,300,000 for the new roof. So it's not coming out of impact aid or any district fund.
Okay, board members, need a motion second to accept this grant so they can start on the building.
So just got a question. I'll motion to approve, then I got a question after this.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion? Go ahead, ask the question.
This is a question. So the bid has already been done and there is a contractor that's already been selected?
Yes, the School Facilities Board has done all of that. So they've approved it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all of that's done. They've actually awarded us the contract and the grant. We just need the board to approve it, accept it. And then they are ready to deploy and start work on the middle school.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, all the documentation
Thank you.
is in on the attachment, on the board agenda item. So everything, Progressive Roofing was awarded. So everything is on the attachment.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you. Congratulations. All those in favor say aye.
Board Member
vote yes.
McCabe says aye.
Okay, 3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. 7.11. Almost said 7.11.
7.11, discussion and possible action to open and advertise the mentor teacher positions for school year 2020-2021. So as attachments, there's one that is just a job description to be a mentor teacher. This is not a whole position. This is something that one of our existing teachers would take on. So if I was a teacher and I'm doing a good job and we have a new teacher that comes in, I could be assigned to be a mentor to that teacher. And then we're asking that any of our teachers who are identified to be a mentor would receive $1,000 for each of those mentees that they're working with, and the limit would be 3. So we wouldn't be able, I mean, we wouldn't have one mentor working with like 10 teachers. It would be one mentor working with up to 3 teachers, and they would get a stipend for working, but they're still a classroom teacher. I mean, but they would also serve as a mentor to some of our new teachers coming in. And then there's 3 other documents attached that are just sort of the draft plans that are in place. But what we're asking the board to approve is just the creation of that 3,000, or well, to approve the job description with the $1,000 per mentee stipend amount, so we can start advertising that for next year.
Okay. Okay, it's
So it'll be $1,000 per teacher that they mentor?
Correct, up to a limit of 3. So, I mean, if I mentor 1 teacher, then I would be eligible for a stipend of 1,000. If I have 2 teachers, I would get 2,000.
Point of order, we need a motion and a second first, then we can have discussion.
okay. A motion?
I make a motion to, I'll go ahead and make a motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Motion? Yeah. Okay, tell me, I'll take your motion.
Okay, go ahead.
Continue the question.
Did that answer your question?
Tell me.
Oh, I thought we were just motioning so we could discuss it.
Oh, I mean, your question.
Yeah, we need a motion and a second to discuss, so that happens. So go ahead, Tommy, I'm sorry.
I guess my other question would be, I thought the instructional coaches were designed for this as well. And part of it is supposed to be coming from the principal and the assistant principals. Are they part of the mentoring? Are they in the leadership role to assist these teachers? Also, our staff developer, isn't this kind of already there?
No, we don't have the staff developer position anymore. We have, but I mean, yes, the instructional coach and the principal and assistant principal do work with their teachers, but this is for a classroom teacher to work with, like a new teacher coming in, just to help them kind of build their skills, get acclimated. The instructional coach usually works more with the professional development side and the teachers that are really more struggling and in need of assistance. So this is kind of the first line of, as new teachers are coming into the district, some of them don't really need a lot of help as like a classroom teacher, but they need more help adjusting just to our programs and systems. So I understand what you're asking, but it really is 2 different things.
Okay.
That's a real good question.
I thought, like,
Assistant principal or principal would be proposed.
Well, they do, but this is a specific function. They help with oversight with lesson plans and that kind of stuff. This is the coaching. I mean, not the coaching. The mentoring and coaching are actually 2 different things, and that's what we're trying to establish here. We've never really had a mentoring program. So we do have the coaching program, we do have professional development with the Friday PDs, but sometimes we just need that one-on-one with another teacher that's in our grade level or department to work with to build those skills. So I understand what the board is asking, but it really is 2 completely different functions is what we're trying to do.
Okay, board members. You have the information. What are you thinking?
That was my question too, was about the academic coach. So, okay. Yeah, they do have to have a mentoring program for the new employees that come in. a lot of the schools, they have what they call onboarding, and that usually comes from HR, and HR identifies veteran employees that can help mentor new employees to come into the district in terms of like how to do lesson plans, how to access school documents, and etc., just to get them into the school system. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly, Mark. That's what we're trying to establish here, is that kind of a mentoring program.
Okay, I guess just make sure that I know there's site team leaders too. I guess we just don't want to create too many chief positions and not enough Indians to educate our kids. So
Yeah, one thing I concern about is the coaches that I don't know how many we have. We have 3 people
One in each school.
who help the teachers, plus the principal. There's too many people. Who helps who? So I don't want them to think, okay, you belong over here and you belong over there, and there'll be confusion. Who takes care of who? I think that needs to be better planned. I don't know who's going to do that. HR. Okay. You're right, Tom. We'll see how it goes if we approve.
yeah,
Okay. Shall we go ahead and I'll go ahead and call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
I vote yes.
Board member McCabe votes yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll go ahead and say yes too. So is it 3 in favor?
Mhm.
Yeah. When is there a way we can ask for a progress of this?
Yeah, we can do quarterly progress reports.
We can ask for a report every so often, like a quarterly.
Okay.
Or, yeah. Try this year.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. So that's it.
Yeah.
3 in favor, 0 opposed. Thank you. Nana?
Next item is 7.12, discussion and possible action to accept a contract with Northland Rural Therapy Associates, LCC, to provide occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech language pathology services for next school year. Basically, this is just a renewal of the contract we already have. So all our related services for special ed come in through Northland Rural Therapy. They aren't our employees, we contract with them. But because it's a contract, the board needs to approve it each year. So we're asking the board to renew that contract for next year.
We need that program.
Mhm.
Can you hear me? Mom?
Hello.
No, you're on.
Oh, okay,
I'm here.
okay. I need a motion second.
Do you have a motion already?
No, that's what she's asking is there a motion to approve?
Okay. Yeah. I didn't hear what she was saying.
Oh, okay.
I'll go ahead and motion to approve. I know
Okay.
these services
I'll
are
second that
very
motion.
scarce in our area.
Mhm.
And second by
Mark? All those in favor say aye.
Board member McCabe says aye.
Aye for me. Mark?
I vote yes.
Okay. 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Moving to the next item, discussion possible action to authorize district representative be a signer on districts
Districts
are
RSNA
be paid and
class accounts.
approve what Gilsborough is a
Mhm.
signer
And recognize the trust authorization of RSNA president is a sign.
So, Madam President, members of the board, RSNA is our insurance trust. And because it's for our employee insurance, and because it's a trust, there's a board of directors. So what this is a resolution that's coming from Hufford and Horseman and from the trust, asking the Pinion Governing Board to authorize the RSNA trust president to be a signer, to approve the Gilspar, who is that's the company that processes all of our claims. So whenever any employee files an insurance claim, it goes through Gilspar, that's a company, as a signer. And then the board needs to authorize a signer from Pinion Unified School District. So who will be able to sign? Typically, that would either be me as the superintendent or Jonathan as the business manager. As long as the board has approved it, it could be either one of us. I think it could actually be both of us. But that's an annual thing as well, to approve the signers for the next trust year.
I think that you, business manager, are already,
the signer authorized.
We have been, yes, I believe we have been. This is to renew it now for the upcoming school year. So it could be either of us or both of us, if that's at the pleasure of the board.
okay. Okay, that would be the signer, RNSA president, and the Gilsbar for the Gilsbar.
All right, board members,
I need a motion second to authorize a sign for the trust.
Who's the primary signer and who's the secondary signer?
I think the superintendent and then business manager is the second. I think.
Okay.
Well,
That's how it's
Board member,
been.
Board member McKay would like to motion to approve superintendent as primary signer and business manager as secondary signer.
Okay,
Board Member Little, I'll second that motion.
okay, there's a motion second made. All those in favor say aye.
Board member
Aye.
McKay says aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. with three-
next item,
Madam President, members of the board, 714 and 715, we're just asking the board permission to issue a request for proposals, an RFP. One is for job order contracting. We had an RFP that expired, I don't know, at the end of last year. So we haven't had a job order contracting service for a while, but we have several projects coming up. We would like to be able to use job order contracting again. And because of the cost involved with job order contracting, it is an RFP. It exceeds the threshold of what we could just award to any one company on our own without the RFP process. And then 7.15 is again to issue an RFP seeking qualified HVAC services for 4 years. We have some people on staff who do the routine HVAC stuff, but we need a company that can do the big stuff with HVAC. Because right now we don't have an RFP in place, so we have to kind of split vendors and try to find people who can come out here. So we would like to just have one vendor again. So we could take either of those separately, or you could approve both of them, 714 and 15. You're not approving a company, you're just approving for us to put the ad out there saying, hey, send us your proposals, and then there'd be an evaluation and we would bring that back to the board to actually award an RFP once someone is selected.
Okay. Is there a motion second? This thing we need to do every year. The HVAC, right now, we don't have anybody.
Motion, Board member McKay would like to motion to approve.
Okay, there's second?
Board Member Little, I'll second that motion.
Okay, any questions? If
Is that for
Uh,
7
Mr.
foot?
Oscar, do you have a committee that reviews your proposals?
Yes, when they're issued out, then there is a committee here that we use to review the proposals when they come in.
Okay.
Just to clarify, are you motioning for 14 and 15 or just 14 or?
I'll motion to approve 14 and 15.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Board Member Cape says aye.
Okay, 3 in favor, 0 opposed, motion carried.
Cool.
Then you've got an IGA with Bay.
yes, this is 7.16 is discussion of possible action to approve the IGA, which is an intergovernmental agreement with Vail Unified School District for continuing use of Beyond Textbooks program for the upcoming school year 2020-2021. It's a yearly IGA. If you recall, this was our first year. I've talked a lot about the implementation of it. It's gone well for the first year. We want to continue it. It was much more expensive in the first year. Now that we're in the second year and we're just licensing, the cost has come down considerably, but we're asking the board's permission to sign the IGA and continue the use of Beyond Textbooks, or BT as we call it, for next school year.
Okay, did you all get their IGA in your packet, in your,
Yes, it's the IGA and the quote are attached in the packet.
Okay, so, is there a motion and a second to
talk about it or vote?
Is there a second?
Board Member Cape would like to motion to approve.
Okay,
I'll second that motion.
okay, there's a second to the motion.
Any questions to ask? If none, all those in favor say aye on the IGA.
Board Member Cape says aye.
Board Member Little says yes.
Okay, 3 in favor.
None opposed, all those in favor.
Motion carried. So hard to talk with this thing, Mama. Okay, moving next.
Go to
Executive
executive
session or how do
So, Madam President, members of the board, we have the other executive session down here, which is 3 student discipline items where we had the hearing officer for you to do the hearing officer recommendations. And then of course, right after that, we have personnel. So I don't know if there were any personnel items that you wanted to discuss for executive session. We don't have an executive session notice back. I mean, they were issued, but we didn't receive one back for item 9.2, the certified librarian, and 9.7 for 2 of the individuals on the list. So, but otherwise, if there was anything in personnel, we could motion to go into executive session at this time. Or we could just do the personnel items that you don't want to do in executive session and then go into executive session to end the meeting. It's up to the board, but this is the time to.
Yeah, I'd like, board members, I'd like to have executive session on 9.5. And if you have any other under personnel.
Madam Chair, for those that are listening in or attending virtually, let's go ahead and continue with personnel items that we don't need to go into executive session on. And then the ones that we need to go into executive session on, we'll do that at the end so that those that are attending virtually can sign off after we go into executive session.
Okay, I was saying 9.5 would be for executive session. All the others, if we don't need to, we can talk about it now.
Excuse me, do we motion in that sense, Chris?
Well, what we would do is we can, because we can do items out of order, we can just skip section 8 executive session for now. We can go to 9.1, and then when we hit that item, if you decide you want to do executive session, we can just skip over that one and come back to it. So we can just start with 9.1 and work our way down, and then anything that we go into executive session for, we would just wait and do that one.
Okay, that'll work.
All right, 9.1. That one's discussion and possible action to approve the following
Certified new hires for
2021 school year. You have
have Joshua.
Sebastian,
Yeah. Pinon High School science teacher.
teacher.
And then
There's
there's
an
Amy
Amy
Dudley, Pinon High School ELA teacher. I think you have the background information in there.
Yeah, there's information in the, I was just reminded that there's where it's, not that that has anything to do with this, but that it's 7:20, so we're coming up on curfew time, so we're gonna have to move some of these along
Oh,
here a little
dear.
bit faster, so nobody gets busted if they're out driving home at this point. Joshua Sebastian is a new hire. Amy Dudley is a new hire. She was actually here many years ago for a couple of years as an English teacher. She taught at the middle school at that time. She's been gone for several years, got a degree, worked in other places, and now she wants to come back to Pinon. So we're recommending that both of those be approved for the upcoming school year and issued a contract.
Do you want to go?
One by one.
Board Member McKay would like to approve the item as presented.
Okay.
Board Member Little, I'll second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Board Member Little votes
Aye.
yes.
Okay, 3
3 in favor, 0 opposed. Motion carried.
9.2, discussion of possible action to approve the following certified new hire. We listed this one separately just because it's not a classroom teacher position. It's still a certified position. Lauren Omoff, I believe is how you say that. Pinon High School certified librarian for the upcoming school year. So it's been a few years now since the district has had a certified librarian at the high school. So we're excited to have this individual.
Good.
Is
Is
there
there-
a motion second?
Board Member McKay would like to motion to approve the item.
Okay,
Board Member Little, I'll
Who's
vote, I'll second that motion.
okay. Ay, sila ulit. Ay, yeah.
Okay, second by Mark. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carried, 3 in favor, 0 opposed. 9.3.
9.3, discussion of possible action to recall an April 15th, 2020 agenda item. You did approve the item at that time, but there was a mistake in the item. It was actually the item, when you approved it, the item was listed for next year, 2020, 2021, but the adjustment should have actually been for this year, 1920. So we're just asking the board to make that correction.
Board Member like to approve.
Okay,
I'll second.
second is made. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, motion is carried with 3 in favor, 0 opposed. On 9.4, Mr. Oscar.
9.4, discussion of possible action to approve to amend the salary placement for Roberto Discadito. This is a person that was hired at the last board meeting. He submitted some additional graduate hours and transcripts, so his salary placement actually just needs to be adjusted. It's a new hire for the new school year, but the salary placement was incorrect because we didn't have all of his transcripts at the time.
So now the salary code is correct.
Yes, so it would be at that new amount,
Okay.
$56,050, BA 36, step 11.
Okay, board members,
Is there a motion to go ahead and make this correct?
Board Member McKay would like to go ahead and motion to approve.
okay. There a second?
I'll go ahead and second. Is Marty still there?
I'll second, and I have a question.
Okay,
Go ahead, Mark.
At the bottom of the application, I thought it says that it attests to all information that's provided to be accurate and true. So why did this applicant not submit everything?
They submitted everything required for the application. I understand what you're saying. They submitted everything that was required for hire on the application, but we didn't have their official transcripts, I believe. What Joyce was responding from the audience that we had copies of, we didn't have original transcripts. We had copies of the transcripts.
We have copies of the transcript of Mr. Little's and the international equivalency is most available. So we have all the documents in place.
Well,
Joyce, sorry to interrupt. Joyce, sorry to interrupt you. Was the transcript evaluated?
Yes,
the state?
evaluated, it's US equivalency.
Okay.
That evaluates every participant that was submitted to us.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
None.
Mark?
okay,
No, I have no other questions.
okay.
Um,
Are we ready to vote?
all those
Those in favor say aye.
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 Yes.
Motion is carried with 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Okay,
Next item. We have 5, we have 6.
No, we just did 9.4, so 9.5 is what you.
9.6, 9.5.
So item 9.6, discussion and possible action to approve the rehire of the following certified emergency teachers for 2020, 2021. We always hold out, they're in good standing. They've completed their second year, so next year would be their third year on emergency. But we always have to wait out the emergency just to see if we can fill the position otherwise, and we've not filled these positions yet. So that would be Crystal Bino, Brenda Falsamido, Lucinda John, Charmaine Mike, and Roxanne Rodriguez. And I believe that, they're all for Pinon Elementary School. So the recommendation there is attached.
Wow, can you go ahead and present the next one as well, 9.7?
9.7 is discussion and possible action to non-renew the following emergency certified teachers. Technically, I'm not sure non-renew is actually the word because they were never renewed for next year and they have no continued right as an emergency certified teacher, but we just want to give them notice that we will not be rehiring them for next year. That's Beverly Mix, Sasheen Mike, Wanda Foghorn, Andrea Yazi, and Ordell Bizahalani. And in in all but one case, they've actually exhausted their 3 years, so we can't rehire them because ADE will only issue an emergency certificate for 3 years. After the 3rd year, they can't get another one. And the other one, the position was filled, I believe, by a non-emergency certified teacher. So these are the people on this list either can't be, or we just don't need to have them renewed.
Okay.
Board member McKee would like to approve 9.6 as presented and 9.7 as presented.
Okay, so,
I'll second that motion, but I have some questions.
okay. Go ahead, Mark.
The first question is, were these individuals put on an improvement plan? Because I think a lot of them, actually, I think all of them are from the community, and we all know that employment is very scarce, and we live in a rural area. And I'd like to try to keep our own Native American employees, especially Navajo, employed, especially if they're from the community. And I know through ADE, as long as you've been teaching for 3 years, not 3 contract years, but 3 years consecutive, verified employment, they can get their standard certificate. Have we tried to work with these employees to try to get their standard certificate? I'm only saying this because I know at the last agenda we had, and again, I don't want to impose to be, or I don't want to imply that I'm being discriminatory or anything, but at the last agenda, we had a lot of applicants on the agenda to hire that were not from the community and were non-Native American. And I think we need to help grow our own.
Okay, so the issue there, I understand what you're saying and I agree with you, but the issue, it isn't just automatic that they've taught for 3 years and they get a standard certificate. They have to be enrolled in an alternative program, and none of these individuals have met that requirement.
No, that's not true, Mr. Oscar. I've helped 3 of our teachers who were not employed or were not in a program, who I got certified with their regular standard certificate, especially knowing the fact that we're, like I said, in a rural area, and we have to give Navajo preference. So that's the reason I'm asking. And of course, they're from the community. They're from the Pinon area. Well, if not Pinon specifically, they're within the surrounding areas.
Joyce,
The way to do this maybe is just approve the 9.6 and then separate the motion. 9.7 could table them and see what we work out. Would that work?
well, Joyce has,
We have there to
Please go to
Joyce
the,
needs to come more to the computer side because they can't.
Mr. Little, this is Joyce. Good evening. We helped them, we guided them the very first, second year when they were in the program. And those teachers actually, they were on an alternative. They were not qualified to do alternative. And they were the ones who really gave up not to continue being a teacher because they have the pathway to be teachers. And it was tough for us to encourage them because we sent out emails. We have records of those and encourage them to go back and proceed to become teachers. Actually, most of this already we started working with them 2 years ago. And by January, when we finalized our emails telling them that give us your certification, work with your mentor or the university where you're enrolled, we're here to help you. Unfortunately, some of them just did not do it. So they were given, or they were sent an email, reminders, and we provided them the proper professional development. So it's just that they just did not want to come back or proceed to being teachers.
Okay,
However, we have others who are really willing to proceed to be teachers. And those are the ones in 9.6.
okay. Board
Have
member-
any of these employees passed any part of that, the test, the teacher certification test? Like the professional knowledge or, any of those test categories?
This is a different category because they still have to finish what they enrolled in the colleges. Some of them did not even enroll to get some of their hours in the university.
But none of them have taken the test.
None of them have taken the test.
Well, that's what I mean. Was there any type of growth plan in place? I think, the supervisor, whoever the principal was, should have at least put some type of a growth plan in place when they did their evaluation. What are we doing to try to help these teachers, especially the community members, in growing our own?
The principals already have some growth plans for them because they were also evaluated. So they were also included in all the PDs. They were treated as regular teachers. The only missing thing is they were not able to get the test because they are not qualified to take the test yet. And we were working with them to take the test. And they just did not want to do it.
Well, then I guess that falls back on the supervisor again to implement, disciplinary action according to policy. Or the supervisor should have been disciplined for not implementing his or enforcing his or her own job description.
Okay. All right, so how do you want to handle this one? Both of them are under one motion. 9.5, 6 and 7. Ready to approve?
Members of the board, I think we need to, really consider this because we need to secure employment within our area. Although we're not a community school, and I'm not saying that a community school hires community members, they're also entitled to follow with whatever ADE guidelines are in terms of certifications. But like I mentioned before, we're in a scarce area. We're in a remote area, especially with this time that's going on, the pandemic. Where are they going to go around to find a job? And if they do find a job, they're going to have to travel distance to get to that place. And of course, the cost of gas is going to probably go up again. So I would recommend that you guys, never mind. I'll just wait till the vote.
Okay, what we could do is separate, like I said, separate the motion 9.6. The motion that we have now include that
The new and then
9.7 would be a
separate
separate.
motion.
Would that work?
Chris,
Yes?
how often do you evaluate these, or how often do you review these evaluations? Or do the principals talk to you about some of these individuals that are, how would you say, like disobedient, but that's not the word I'm looking for. But anyhow, how often do you evaluate the evaluation?
I received the
With the
evaluations at the end of the year. I don't
Wow.
talk specifically about individual teachers during the year, but Joyce and I in HR, we received the full everything at the end of the year, the evaluations.
Well, it doesn't make sense to review it at the end of the year. There's no need to review it at the end of the year, because if you review it at the end of the year, there's no way of you stepping in and enforcing any type of an improvement plan. I think you should be reviewing these maybe half of the year, and then if there's some type of growth plan that needs to be enforced, then you should follow up with your employees, who are the principals, and ensure that these are being carried through.
Okay.
Because it doesn't make sense to do it at the end of the year.
Yeah. how do you want to treat the motion? You want to table 9.7 and try to work with the system some way?
Because there's a big concern on it.
Board member McKay would like to do substitute motion to do, to motion to approve 9.6 first.
Withdraw the first motion, drop the 9.7 and just do 9.6.
For now, yes.
Okay. Is there some-
Can, Madam Chair, can you restate the agenda item for 9.7?
9.7, you
can probably table and send it back to the administration to work out and HR.
I mean, what is,
with these.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, to interrupt you. What does the line item say? Discussion and possible action to what?
It says discussion possible action to non-renew following emergency certified teachers for this coming school year. 2021.
due to expiration of emergency teacher certification. So then those are the 3, 4, 5 teachers. Word teachers.
Board Member McCabe, you're motioning to approve the non-renewal of those individuals under the emergency certificate?
No, my substitute motion is to only approve 9.6 for now, and then we can go
I'm
now
sorry.
and
Oh, okay. Madam Chair, can you read what 9.6 says? I'm sorry, the line item.
That one says, discussion possible action to approve rehire the following certified emergency teachers for 2021 school year. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'll second Board Member McCabe's motion.
To just express 9.6. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Now, the next one, how do you want to handle that one? That's a non-renew. The following emergency certified teachers, which are Beverly Mix Sashimi Mike, Wanda Forkhorn, Andrea Yazzie, and Odell Zalamani.
Mike Forkhorn and Zalamani. Are they all continuing? Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to have to give a directive to the superintendent to have the Human Resources contact Arizona Department of Education and complete the verification of teaching experience form for each of those employees that are being recommended, and verify their years of experience. If they meet the 3-year experience, I'd like to recommend that we, the district move forward in assisting these employees in obtaining their standard certificates and renew their contracts under a condition that they be put on an improvement plan, and that improvement plan be monitored and reviewed and provided progress back to the board.
Okay. Okay, there's a motion made. Is there a second? Are you still there?
Board Member McCabe would like to second the motion.
Okay. Second the motion.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Motion is carried to direct the superintendent to have HR the contact
Work with these people to get
the proper certificate.
with the experience.
Anyway, I think,
Board Member McKay would like to motion to go into executive session for 8.3, 8.4, 8.5, 8.6, and 9.5.
Okay,
Board Member Little, I'll second that motion.
okay.
well, we have 19 minutes. You want to do this? Otherwise, I don't know if we're in trouble or not. No? We're going, well, so there's a motion second to go to executive session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 3 in favor.
You opposed. Go to executive session. All right.
Do we call your phone, Chris?
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that again when we,
Okay.
Chris, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Do we call your phone?
yes, myself.
Oh,
yes.
Jen?
Okay.
You have two calls, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I think he packed you up. Members of the audience, if you're still with us, we're waiting for the two board members to rejoin the Zoom meeting, and then we'll conduct these last items of business. So just hang with us for a couple minutes.
Next time I need to stay home and call me. I feel funny doing that. Mom should have
Here we go.
signal man.
Are we all back?
Tommy, you're
Is
there.
Mark,
Mark is there. Bessie's here. So we are all back.
Okay, let's move on to get these two done. 8.3, discussion possible action to set the recommendation of the hearing officer for students. CCHC.
Betsy's mute. I can't hear her.
Oh, Bessie, you're muted.
Am I muted?
You're
Oh,
muted.
yeah, I can't hear her.
Sorry. I guess she-
Okay, it's 8.3. Accept the recommendation of the hearing officer.
the student, CHC.
Recommendation was long-term suspension or expulsion.
Did we already motion on 8.1 and 8.2?
Oh, reconvene into open, yes. Or
We're back in
Yeah.
session. though.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I need a motion second to do either one.
Long-term, 180 days expulsion.
I mean, suspension or accept expulsion.
Is this on 8.3?
yes, this is 8.3.
Okay, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to, my motion is for expulsion.
Okay,
Board Member McCabe seconds the motion.
okay. So 8.3, is recommended to accept the expulsion of student student CCHC.
All those in favor say aye.
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 3 in favor, 0 opposed for the expulsion. 3.4 and 8.5, I guess that could go together.
Board Member McCabe would like to motion to suspend the 8.4 and 8.5 for the remainder of the school year.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, there's a motion, the second.
All those in
Favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion is carried with 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Next is that 9.5. Questions, insert. I need a motion to go ahead and approve.
Board Member McCabe would like to motion to accept the resignation
To
or retirement, retirement.
retirement incentive added in accordance to school board policy GBQE. So she's not retiring until next year. Okay, there's a motion to approve. Second by-
I'll make that second.
Okay, there's a second to the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Chris,
Aye, motion is
Chris, so-
carried. In
Chris?
favor.
Huh?
Chris,
Yes?
I haven't voted yet. So that she's gonna finish out the rest of this school year to June 30th, and then all of next school year to June 30th, correct?
Correct. And then retire at the end of that year.
Okay.
Board Member McKay would just like to say she's still too young to retire.
Yes.
Is everybody's
I'll vote yes.
Okay.
All three vote yes. All those in favor, motion carried.
Favor, 0 opposed.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to
A
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
I'll
Okay.
second.
I'll second.
Adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you for hanging in on this. And we'll work with you to schedule that special work session on the handbooks sometime
Oh.
soon. And we'll take you through those. So thank you very much, board members.
All
All
We'll
right.
see you guys. Thank you for everybody that attended.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Mark, have a safe trip.
Yes.
On it.